Computer Science 461, Implementation. Magic bullets and other disasters. So pictured below is the picture for the infomercial for the magic bullet. We're going to talk about a different type of magic bullet, but you really owe it to yourself to watch this infomercial. If you haven't done that already, it's all kinds of amazing. I'll let you do that on your own time, not required for the class. But let's talk a little bit about motivation. And we can talk about motivation by referring to the case study in the reading, and that was Foxmeyer Drug Company. They were implementing a $65 million ERP system. ERP, again, stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. And basically that's business management software that a company uses to collect, store, manage, and interpret data from all their different business activities. For example, from manufacturing, service, delivery, marketing, sales. It grabs all that data, and then the company can use it to plan how they're going to allocate their resources. And basically the CIO of the company said, we're betting the company on this, putting in this ERP system. Of course, the system failed to deliver the expected benefits, and the company filed for bankruptcy. The case study, I believe, is from the 90s. It's a bit dated now, but we still really have huge disasters with these types of systems. You can pick a random case study out of CIO magazine if you don't believe me to get a more recent view on this. Healthcare.gov is a great example of a recent failure in the past, and that's an example where agile methods really kind of mess things up. So it's not good to blame any one type of development methodology or any one type of technology for these types of failures. They're really larger and more systemic than the individual choice of technology or development method. And healthcare.gov, only 1% of the people who were interested in it were able to enroll in the first week of operations. That was 2014. It's still having problems as of 2015. I think it'll eventually get sorted, but it's an example of something, of a modern system that has implementation problems. So what went wrong with this Foxmeyer Drug Company? Well, the authors proposed that the problem was due to something called magic bullet thinking. And magic bullets are technologies or methodologies that people believe can do remarkable things with little or no human intervention. Again, that's different from Fred Brooks' No Silver Bullet, where Fred Brooks says there's no single technology on the horizon or that has been invented that will do for software what has been done with hardware in terms of doubling speed of production every 2 to 5 years. Basically, with magic bullets, management believe the system can deliver extraordinary benefits with minimal risk and little or no human intervention. And so people get lulled into a false sense of security. We do this and we'll realize an infinite return on investment with no effort on our part. So what are some examples of magic bullets? And go ahead and scribble down your ideas concerning this phenomenon. You've probably encountered several of them. Remember that magic bullets are technologies and methodologies that people believe can do remarkable things with little or no human intervention. Let's take a look at some examples from the authors. Java, the programming language, of course not the coffee. Coffee probably really is a magic bullet. Client-server architectures, object-oriented programming, outsourcing, re-engineering, enterprise information systems. All these things people believe you can just put them in and they'll do remarkable things. You'll get great return on investment. There will be little or no human intervention required, and there won't have to be a large amount of organizational change. We know this is false, but you can see it all the time. So it's hard to believe that one failed system could bring down a major pharmaceutical company like Foxmeyer. So what else went wrong? Well, they embarked on a second high-risk IT project at the same time as they were working on their ERP implementation. And it's really hard to fight a war on two fronts, although it's sometimes possible. They also contracted with a new customer on the assumption that the system would deliver benefits that were never fully realized. So they basically said, yeah, we've already realized the return on investment, so we can lower our prices and put this new contract into place based on expected gains. And we've seen how flaky financial models can be. If you're going to bet on the results of a financial model, bet on the conservative side. And last but not least, they push the implementation deadline forward 90 days. And that's just a recipe for disaster. In the Foxmeyer case, it meant that they could not re-engineer the business process in a timely manner, although they did miraculously get the system implemented on time. However, it did experience widespread data errors and had inaccurate sales data, and it couldn't forecast inventory needs. So there were some real problems with pushing that deadline forward. They did get it to work, so all due credit. So the prescription, according to the authors of this article, is research conclusively shows that good change management skills can substantially increase the odds of IT project success. However, change management is not used by IT specialists, line managers, or IT management. So let's take a look at what type of change agents, who are these people that propose and implement change in an organization. I'll be the first to admit that I'm cynical, but I will admit that there are people who do bring about change in organizations. So there are three types of change agents mentioned in the Magic Bullet article. And these three types are the tool builder, the facilitator, and the advocate. And you should really have all three to implement effective change. Let's start by taking a look at the tool builder. This is the most common role, and it's quite often overused. The tool builder has the viewpoint that IT is magical, and you can see this in advertising campaigns and tech companies. We bring you Lotus Notes, and you will collaborate. That was IBM. Your potential, our passion. We'll make it happen. That's Microsoft. And not just picking on IBM and Microsoft, you can watch Apple's 1984 commercial. HipChat's more recent commercials also go towards this line of thinking, but at least they're somewhat humorous. Basically, the tool builder believes that IT makes benefits happen without any organizational change or human interaction. And people really like to hear it. And the other thing is give a person a hammer and everything looks like a nail, which is why the clip art's there. The second type of change agent is the facilitator, and this is the organizational development point of view. Basically, OD, or organizational development, is concerned with improving effectiveness of human systems at all levels, as evidenced by the wonderful clip art on the right-hand side of this slide. OD believes that people make change, not systems, and this model of change advocate also says to test ideas before looking at the technical solution, take accountability for training and support, document and disseminate information. In reality, a lot of times organizational development people show up for a few days. They really do make you feel good about yourself. People, use sticky notes. They draw on placemats. They write out what they feel about the organization, and it feels good for about 1 or 2 days, and then the facilitator tends to depart. So there are some negatives with that one. That's maybe my cynicism coming through, but the facilitator alone doesn't get it done. The last type is the advocate, and I've got the politician up there because that's really what the advocate is. Basically, they envision what's needed to get the organization on track and get everyone to see that vision too. They don't worry too much about tools. Sometimes they can have technical expertise, and they use a whatever works approach that's generally political, and the quote from the advocate shows people the kind of IT they want and need, as well as how to use IT to get results. And they work well in an IT type support type of environment. In reality, they do wave their hands a lot, but they are good at making political deals. Just don't expect them to do any of the heavy technical lifting, because they will not be able to do that. So, some conclusions from this article, and again, you need all different types of change agents. You need the facilitator, you need the advocate, and you need the tool builder. But in conclusion, projects can sometimes fail due to unrealistic expectations. Basically, if you expect IT or a system to deliver boundless benefits just by itself with no human intervention, you're going to be very disappointed. Effective change management is everyone's job, from the technical to the political to the person who genuinely feels that they want to make the organization better. And you need a variety of roles. No single role will work. Any single role, if you just have all advocates, all hand-waving politicians, then it's going to fail due to lack of technical expertise. If you just have pure technology folks, things will fail because there will be a misunderstanding of the politics of the organization, or how you're actually going to do things from a human side. And line executives, the people in charge of various areas of the organization, also need to take responsibility for IT. So that's a quick wrap of magic bullets.